Trump just got schooled by Nigeria. India, the world's third largest oil consumer, was supposed to cave under his brutal tariffs. Instead, they locked in 2 million barrels from Lagos and told Trump to find another consumer. What happens next rewrote the rules of global energy forever. 2 weeks ago, Indian Oil Corporation faced a choice. Trump's team hit them with 50% tariff, basically saying, drop the Russian oil and buy from us instead. Classic Trump move. Squeeze hard, expect people to fold. But India's state refiners did something unexpected. They completely skipped US crude and locked in 2 million barrels from Nigeria. Now, this wasn't really about oil. It was about respect. Now, when you have 1.4 billion people behind you, the consequences go far beyond what anyone expects. When is the last time Nigeria actually won one of these big moves against a superpower? When is the last time any African country got to call the shots instead of just reacting? And Trump's team is figuring out how their pressure campaign blew up. What I'm about to show you reveals why this single oil deal might be the biggest power move Africa has made in decades. But first, we need to see why Trump's playbook completely failed. Trump's approach was simple economic warfare. His people hit India with brutal tariff, started at 25%, then doubled to 50%. The message was clear. Stop buying Russian oil or we will wreck your economy. Peter Navarro even called it Modi's war, basically accusing India of funding Putin's invasion. The insult was intentional.
And then the taxpayers lose because we got to fund Modi's war, okay? Through New Delhi.
War?
I mean Modi's war.
But here's where Trump made a big mistake. He assumed India was like other small countries who caved earlier. Japan, South Korea, the Europeans, they all came to Washington and gave into pressure. But India had different plans. You know what they say in Nigeria? The tree that refuses to bend in the storm often has the deepest roots. India's roots go 1.4 billion people deep. Instead of buying Trump's crude, Indian Oil Corporation went for Nigerian oil and Middle Eastern supplies. The message was clear. We will buy from whoever gives us the best deal. Now, most people missed the real story. Nigerian crude is actually perfect for Indian refineries. Low sulfur, great for making gasoline and diesel. Plus, India has been buying from Nigeria since 2005. This relationship has real history and trust. But here's where it gets even crazy. While India was making deals with Nigeria, guess what Trump's team was doing behind closed doors? They were trying to get their own energy deals with Russia. Trump's guy, Steve Witkoff, met Putin twice. Once in Moscow, then at an Alaska summit. American companies wanted back in Russian oil projects. ExxonMobil was eyeing Russia's big projects. They discussed equipment deals. Wait, what? Trump punishes India for buying Russian oil, then secretly negotiates with Moscow? This wasn't about stopping Russia. This was about control. If you are from Africa, you've seen this before. Big powers demanding loyalty while doing whatever benefits them. Except this time, the ending was different. Nigeria just became a major player in global energy. When the world's third largest consumer picks you over Trump's America, that's serious validation. For decades, African oil was the backup choice. We will buy from you only when the major suppliers aren't available. India's move changed that script completely. Suddenly, Nigeria's oil isn't second choice. Other big countries are paying attention. China, Turkey, Brazil. They're asking if India can say no to Trump and win. Why there is an African saying, when the roots of a tree decay, it spreads death to the branches. Trump's energy dominance is showing cracks. Africa is getting stronger. What's happening underneath reveals something bigger about the future.
Quick word here, if you guys don't understand what's going on right now in the world, you never understand nothing. The West is dying. I repeat, the West is dying. So, they are doing everything to take us down with them. You will see. You will see what's going to happen in a few years from now. They are going to start war everywhere. They are going to try to impose themselves in other people's businesses, in other countries. This is just the beginning of the end. And it's the real time for Africans to rise up. It's the time for Africans to change their mindset. It's time for Africa to change their behavior. It's time for Africa to have better leaders that can play that play. It's over the sellout era leaders. It's over. We need patriotic Africa first leaders. We need young leaders that are ready to fight for the continent, for their country, for their people, for all people. And we also need the diaspora to play a huge role. If you may do the back and forth between Africa and where you are in the diaspora, it would be amazing. You need to see what's going on the continent. You need to start doing businesses there. You need to do the back and forth. I was last year in Zanzibar. I saw Asian, Indians, Turkish, Europeans living the soft life, renting lands, opening businesses, and living the soft life. And I was asking myself, where are the diaspora? By the time we woke up, it's gonna be late. They're gonna have all the businesses there on the motherland, and we are going to still keep buying for them. All the leaders in Africa and in the diaspora that we had, okay, in America, Malcolm X, Henry Clark, Ivan Varsatimo, Ben Joshanon, every leader that we had in the diaspora and on the continent, they all said the same thing. If the continent is free, if the motherland is developed, we in the diaspora, we are going to be fine. Why? Because we are going to use the resources from the continent, from the motherland, to compete with people here in the diaspora. You see what I'm saying? So now we need to go back on the continent. A lot of us did STEM. Okay, science, technology, engineer, and math. A lot of us are in those fields. You know what I mean? So we can use that and go there on the motherland and start businesses, open businesses. And no, there is sun every day, from January to December, you have sun. We can create solar panels, we can create a solar train, solar cars, electric trains. We can create all these things. We have the knowledge. You know what I mean? So we need to use what we did in the diaspora and go there on the motherland and start businesses. And we also need to go there to be part of the leaders. Because like I say, a lot of leaders there work with other people's software. Okay? We from the diaspora, we know. And we need to be leaders there too. We need to be CEOs, not only CEOs, but we need to be in the government, everywhere, on the motherland. Because we have the mindset, because we grew up here on the West, we know what's going on here. We are the one that can help them to do better deal, how to deal with the West, how to deal with China, how to deal with India. Because we grew up here in the West. So we have the vision. We understand better than them. Okay? Don't forget that, guys. Let's keep pushing.
Now, this goes way beyond oil. Trump just handed China its biggest victory in years. For decades, the US strategy was simple: keep India close to counter China's rise. Now Trump's pressure is pushing India straight into China's arms. That means a stronger, more determined BRICS alliance. Economist Richard Wolff said it perfectly.
It's because alternative measures to break India away from the BRICS didn't work that they're trying this.
Now that sounds like a declining empire, not a confident superpower. Now here's what most people don't realize. Nigeria is not just selling oil to India. They are benefiting from technological transfer from Indian companies. Real partnership, not just business. You see, Trump offered threats. Nigeria offered partnership. Now this is creating effects Trump never saw coming, and it's making BRICS much more stronger. Now this decision is changing how oil flows worldwide. Angola is making more oil for Asian markets. Libya is talking to Indian refiners. West Africa is building partnerships with the South. India's finance minister was clear: we will continue to buy from whoever gives us the best deal. No apologies. That's economic independence. And once that starts, it's hard to stop. If a country of 1.4 billion people can tell Trump no and come out ahead, what does that tell about his influence everywhere? What does it mean for Africa's future? The answer is changing everything. Sure, Nigeria's currency had problems, but their strategic position just got way stronger to being the preferred choice for the world's fastest major economy. And here's the funny part. Trump's sanctions on Russia was supposed to isolate Moscow. Instead, they created new partnerships and trade routes. India and Nigeria are connected by modern oil deals. They are connected by standing up to Trump's pressure and winning. It's like David and Goliath. Big guys think size guarantees victory. They forget being huge just makes you a bigger target. This shows something important about how power is changing. The era of you are either with us or against us is over. Countries are choosing path based on what works for them. Brazil picked China for trade. India picked Nigeria for oil. Turkey picked Russia for gas. Each choice weakens Trump's control. And here's what worries Trump's strategists. If developing countries work together against his pressure, if they build alternative trade systems, that's exactly how empires end. Not with wars, but with economic partnerships between nations that refuse to be bullied. For Nigeria, this moment goes far beyond money. Now, this proves that Africa can be a destination of choice, not desperation. The Dangote refinery is processing more Nigerian crude. Indian companies are investing in Nigerian infrastructure. Technology flows both ways. This is African success in action, not just speeches about unity, but real partnerships creating wealth. Nigeria didn't need to change their whole government to become a strategic partner. They just offered real value. That's a lesson for the whole continent and a reality check for powers playing by old rules. Trump made a classic mistake. He assumed pressure would force India to choose between America and Russia. He never thought India may choose Nigeria. It's like a chess player focused on the big pieces, missing the small piece about to win the game. Professor Richard Wolff called Trump's approach desperate. Those 50% tariff on India? Crucial. What's the alternative? Punish a fifth of humanity? India's population is 1/5 of the world's population. Trump's team thought they could bully India like smaller countries. They forgot India has options. One happens to be Africa's largest economy. This shows exactly how the new rules work. Now, the new rules are completely different. It's not about the biggest militaries or most punishments. It's about who offers the best partnerships. Trump offered threats. Nigeria offered opportunities. Trump demanded loyalty. Nigeria provided value. Trump played the old game. Nigeria played the new one. The result? A partnership making both countries stronger while weakening Trump's influence into.
That's a fact, because nowadays we are now in a multipolar world. You know, it's over. The old system that we had and we knew, it started over. Now it's a multipolar system. You know what I mean? You have developing countries rising up from Asia, from South America, from Africa. So the world in 20, 30, 50 years is gonna look different. You know what I mean? It's gonna be different. The West are no longer the superpower that nobody's scared. We don't care about the West. You know what I mean? Nobody cares about the West. They are going down. It's over. They had their moment. Now it's finished. But as usual, they try to destroy everything on the way out. You know what I mean? But right now, multipolar system, different type of partnership all across the world. The new order is gonna be like that. Multipolar world, multi-partnership, Africa, Asia, Middle East, South America, you know. But for the Africans, we need to stay focused. And we don't need to be blind to the Indians as well, like we were and we are towards the Chinese. They are not our friends. And they will never be friends. Neither China, India, whatever, Russia, they are not our friends. We need to remember that. Okay? We did a video reaction on Angola kicking out Chinese because they were doing illegal stuff, illegal mining, polluting the waters, polluting the rivers, everything illegal. You know what I mean? They are not our friends. Indian is the same. They are going to go there in Africa. In the beginning, it's gonna sound like, yeah, they're doing great stuff. But you will start seeing misbehavior, okay? Treating bad Africans. And for those who know Indians and South Africa, you already know that India and South Africa, they don't treat black South African well. So you guys already know that. Okay? They already have they too have a vision about Africans. Do you guys remember Gandhi? Gandhi, he said some bad things about Africans. He was there in India fighting the British. Then he went to South Africa and he started talking down and badly about Africans, saying that they are kafir, they are animals, they're stuff like that. Those are the Indian leaders. Gandhi is one of the greatest Indian leader, revolutionary. Did the revolution there, fighting the British. They too have a vision about Africans. So just because we are doing partnership here, we need to be careful. Those are not our people. Those are not our friends. They will mistreat Africans in Africa. Okay, we need to do the good business. Real business, good business. And everything is bad, we need to talk about that. Okay? Africans in Africa are too scared of foreign people. They let them do whatever they want. And we don't tolerate that. That's why I say we need to have the diaspora in Africa, in businesses, working in the government, because we know how they are, and we can see if they move differently. We can, hey, you need to stop that. You don't do that here, because we are not scared of them. We know them in the diaspora, but the Africans in Africa don't know them. That's why they are being mistreated by them. Let's keep pushing, guys.
Important regions. The global south isn't just rising, it's here with its own rules. So what happens next is other African producers will copy Nigeria's success. Angola, Libya, even smaller producers will go after Asian buyers more aggressively. India will build greater ties across Africa. Energy partnerships will grow into technology, infrastructure, defense cooperation. A new global order is being built, one barrel at a time. Trump must decide, compete on merit or keep trying threats. The threat book just failed against India. The question isn't whether Trump can adapt, it's whether he will adapt fast enough to stay relevant. There is a deeper truth here. So, this story was never about oil, it was about respect. India refused to be treated like a junior partner. Nigeria refused to be treated like a backup option. Together, they showed the world the old rules don't work. Trump's people laughed when Nigeria's currency had problems, thinking chaos meant opportunity for American influence. They forgot crisis can lead to transformation. Nigeria didn't just survive economic challenges, they used them to build partnerships with countries that respect them. That's not weakness, it's smart strategy. So next time someone tells you Africa is just there for aid or resources, remember this story. Remember how Nigeria turned Trump's pressure into Indian partnership, how crisis became opportunity, how respect beat dominance. The global chessboard is being redrawn. Africa isn't watching from the sidelines. They are moving pieces, making alliances, changing the game. Are you paying attention to the moves that actually matter? The next game-changing partnership might be forming while old powers fight yesterday's wars. In this world, respect beats pressure, partnership beats dominance. Sometimes the best move is the one nobody sees coming. What do you think the next move would be? Let me know in the comment section. I'm Asongwa Luis. See you in my next.
Shout out Africa Today for the video. Amazing one. Amazing move from both India and Nigeria. Wish them all the success. But yeah, but Nigeria needs to be careful. All the Africa needs to be careful. Those partnerships are great. But if you don't know how to do a businesses, you may lose at the end, okay? So, be careful. The move is bold for both of them. It's amazing. The West is collapsing, and we know that for a fact. And Africa is going to be there. By 2050, the large population on the planet is going to be African, and half of them going to be under 25 years old. So huge market. They are going to be. We here to stay. We're going to develop our country, our continent, and we're going to be number one as we used to be in the past, in ancient time. We were number one for the longest time in the ancient time, so it's going to be the same here. Doesn't matter the time, but as long as we get rid of the sellout leaders, the weak leaders, and we put in place the Africa First leaders and those who want to work for the continent, for the countries, we are going to succeed. We are going to succeed, so we are not scared. We know nothing stays the same, everything changes. Those who are last are going to be in the first place, and those who are in the first place are going to be in the last place. So it's life, it's the nature of life, of things. So yeah, shout out to Africa Today for the video. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to comment below. Let's have a discussion, let's have a debate, come as usual. And I'll watch the next video that's going to pop up here and playlist as well. Yeah, see you next time. Take care of you and the family. Peace out. Thanks.